Greetings, everybody. Hope you're doing well. It's the Crypto Wonder. Let's get it. All you gotta do is just hold on. Why do I say that? It's simple. For people in the Hex community, and the new folks, new people, there's a lot of new people in the community. I know because I'm asked questions, in the background. So the content that I create is for old and new people. When I just say all you have to do is just hold on. If you're a part of the community, that means you believe in something the community has to offer, and it stems from the token. It's not necessarily even the community or the actions of the community. It's about the token. A community of people believe in a token, which generates value. Because if the community didn't believe in the token, it wouldn't be worth anything. So you have to hold on. It's hard because you have some people, and there's nothing wrong with what I'm about to say as far as certain behaviors of individuals. There are people who don't necessarily want to buy into delayed gratification. That's their choice. It's okay. It's really okay, because there are aspects of delayed gratification that are brutal. It's not for everybody. It's extremely difficult to lock monies up for a year, much less 5, 10, 15 years, right? Realistically speaking, it's not easy at all. January 3rd, 2009 will be January 3rd, 2024 will mark 15 years since Bitcoin Genesis block, the first block that was ever mined in the world, Bitcoin, in its entire existence, will hit the 15-year mark in less than a year at the time of this recording. So can you imagine what you were doing 15 years ago? No, it's not easy. Like, really think about what was going on in 2009. You could have an overview, sure, but like to really go into heavy specifics, that's a lot of time. Meanwhile, the larger and the longer those coins are locked up, the bigger and better the rewards are. But it's still difficult. It is. The great thing about this all, though, is, and I'm going to go back to what I was going to say, but the fact that we now have Hedron and Icosa to complement everything going on with the Hex mining system is also a benefit, can be beneficial to a person who doesn't necessarily want to wait a long period of time, like 10, 15 years, to realize their rewards. But the market has to mature a little more. You need time to work in our favor. We need more time so that those coins that complement Hex, Hedron, and Icosa, while Hex moves up in price, it pulls Hedron and Icosa with it so that they could reach their ceiling prices and even surpass their ceiling prices, which will afford people opportunities to potentially realize some rewards now that they could have realized at some point in the future. This is all tied in with the whole delayed gratification. But you had a contributor, a developer in the community that created something to help balance the difficult nature in dealing with delayed gratification. The developer I'm talking about is Alex, the developer for Hedron and Icosa. You have another aspect of individuals who just want to get paid every day, and that's fine. Technically, folks who mine Hex are getting paid every day. You can't really cash out every day, especially if you're locked up for a long period of time, because you'll suffer penalties. You'll suffer penalties, and you have to pay an exorbitant amount in fees. It's just too expensive, and then you're shooting yourself in the foot if you lock up for 15 years and then a week later you end stake. You're getting nothing, zero, zilch, nada. Then you're paying gas fees on top of that. It doesn't make sense, right? But you're still earning rewards, so in a sense you're still receiving payments. It's just not the same as other situations where people want to get paid every day. There's nothing wrong with wanting to get paid every day, especially if you see that there are things that are available to bring that to your life. There's nothing wrong with that. But right now, that doesn't really exist in the Hex Collective at this point. Right now, it doesn't exist. It exists elsewhere on other blockchains, in other communities. It most certainly exists. I have to be fair. I have to call it down the middle. Whether you want to call them Ponzi-nomics, whatever you want to call them, they exist where people are getting paid every day. We have to be fair. We have to call it down the middle, like the kids say. I have to be fair. I'm not going to really identify them, because if I do, that might cause you to go want to do something. And then if something doesn't necessarily work out, you're not going to be blaming me for anything. This is why you have to do your own research in that respect. Right? But I started this by saying you have to hold on, because this is how you're able to weather the storm of the bear markets. And in a special way, the bull market is stormy, but in a good way, because it aggressively raining nothing but money onto everybody who's in the market, aggressively, for a certain period of time. And historically, bull markets have been shorter periods of time versus the bear markets. But the bear markets have presented chances for people to get into the market at a much cheaper cost versus the bull market, where prices are just soaring. But we see on a large scale that people chase pumps. They just chase high price activity. I don't know what that's about. That's psychology. I don't get it anymore. I don't understand it. Maybe it's just folks who are experiencing FOMO. They get caught up in that wave, tribalism and or whatever, excitement. They feel like if they don't catch it now, they'll never catch it again, and they attach themselves to this rising price action, but then experience doom and gloom when things turn around. You have to hold on to when it's bad and even when it's good, because it's subjective. The markets don't care about our feelings. Some people might aim for a 2x, and they'll be extremely happy with that. Other people are aiming for a 2 million x. Either way, this is what I mean by subjective. It's your own plan, it's your own decision to make, to figure out what works for you, but you have to remain committed to yourself. I've seen this happen so many times where people regret leaving the space. They regret selling because they sold too early. Not many people experience the 10,000x gains, folks. It's captured the data. This is what Hex has done on the blockchain. Is verified. It's all there. Go do your research, yes. But for people to have acquired Hex on January 5th, 2020, these people here always want to disrupt my streams with the noise pollution. It is unreal, folks. Never fails. Never fails. Sidebar. Never fails. Anyway, for people to really have bought into Hex at January 5th, 2020 at its lowest, 0.00005, to when it reached 55 cents, and the fall of 2021, 623 days later, not many people bought at those prices that we would like to believe. Because when the person saw their first multiples or series of multiples, it's like, wow, you put a little bit of money in, and then you see your thing multiplied times 500, 1,000x, 500 the first year, 340, 400x the first year. You're like, wow, you see your number, anything you put in multiplied by hundreds of x's. Folks sold for whatever reason, because you have the right to. I don't believe in self-shaming. I don't believe in shaming people. But I've also seen in other communities of crypto, and quiet is kept, even, in this community, like, people have expressed some form of, remorse. There were remorse, or regret. I should say that they did that, because they know if they would have held on, it would have been better. You got to hold on. You got to hold on. In hindsight, thinking about just like being involved and learning about this market, 6 years, it's not a long time. They say Ethereum reached 10,000x in 2.5 years, right? And in 6 years, it reached 14,000x. That's tremendous. Bitcoin itself went up, 6 million, 6.9 million x from a penny. And we know Bitcoin opened up less than when it cost nothing. So in truth, it really went up a lot more, maybe hundreds of millions of x. Who knows? But that's what this space provides. And this is why folks who got in early and held on are winning to this day. Like, imagine you got into Bitcoin before less than a penny, or at a penny, and you held on till now. You good, even though the cycles, tremendous amount of cycles, all kinds of price capitulations, 80%, 90% corrections, like dips upon dips, brutal bear markets, multi-year bear markets versus the bull markets, like ridiculous, like grueling, painful. Yes, but you held on. And Bitcoin is even more difficult because Bitcoin doesn't pay you. Like, you're not getting interest unless you allow some type of custodial entity to lie to you and tell you that they have your best interests at heart, where they're going to give you a nominal piece of interest or yield, and then some short time later they fold and rug you, Bitcoin's not going to pay you. It's just what you have, those Satoshis, and that's it. And you just pray that the price goes up. But it's worked. And it's appreciated more than anything else. Sure, this other meme coin in 2021 did spectacular, but that's a meme coin. We're talking about the granddaddy or grandmammy of cryptos, as in Bitcoin. But just like what I'm saying, hold on. But that's one of the tenets that I call them tenets, principles that Richie Rich talks about. That helps that, the people who win in crypto have been founders, those who have founded projects or blockchains, right, or tokens that have been successful, exchanges, those who own exchanges, and those who hold. So you got to hold on. You have to find a way to hold on for yourself, for now and some time to come, because you're setting yourself up to win. And when I say hold on too, there's another thing with that, because in the process of holding on, it's very difficult. It's very hard to hodl. It's a psychologically grueling, painstaking task if you're not careful. It requires maximum discipline, conviction, concentration, and personal integrity. You're going to honor what you said you were going to do. It's not easy. It's not easy, like honor a personal agreement with yourself. And that's what, for example, locking up Hex does. Because no one is there sitting looking at you utilizing or working the contract, making the contract work for you. You're making a promise to yourself and utilizing this tool to help you achieve your goals. There's a problem that happens though, because on your way towards achieving your goals, you have these pit stops. While you're driving towards reaching your end result, you have these rest stops, these pit stops, I call them, right? Rest areas where you have individuals who are there who are going to convince you that they also have the next best thing in crypto, or the next best thing that could complement anything and everything you have in crypto that you should take with you on your way towards your personal pursuit for success. And those are the riskiest moments. It's already difficult for you to uphold your own personal agreement, especially when you're seeing high volatility and you're looking at your bag and it's worth so much more than it was when you first started. So the temptation to end stake and reap the rewards are so high, but towards the end it'll be greater. But that's the battle that you go through, right? When you are distracted with all of these glamorous promises that these sidebar projects try to offer you, and throws you off, or you try to talk yourself and convince yourself, well, you know what? Why don't you put your instead of putting all your eggs in a certain basket, because it's no longer one basket anymore. Or if you're dealing with Hex, it's no longer putting your eggs. It wasn't all about putting your eggs in one basket with Hex in the beginning anyway, because you needed Ethereum to acquire the Hex. You needed the Ethereum network to utilize a contract. So it was never just one singular situation going on. Hex wasn't a blockchain. It's a token. The native blockchain is Ethereum. So I don't know why folks, sometimes I've heard this argument come before where like, maxi, well, you need Ethereum, so how much of a maxi are you? Whether you like Ethereum or not, you need it to make these things rock and roll to date, because you can't use you can't mine Hex on Polygon. Hex is over there too. You can't mine it. You can't stake it. You can't create ladders on Polygon. But you could do it on Ethereum POS, Ethereum Power, and Ethereum Fair. Those two blockchains that I mentioned, the latter are proof of work blockchains that were forked when Ethereum 2.0 merged in September 14, 2022. And those two blockchains right now are going through their growing pains, right? They're layer ones, proof of work. But it still needs to prove itself over time. That's why people are not really talking about those blockchains really. But they're proof of work. But I digress. When you're bombarded with this opportunity, hey, this week there's this sacrifice going on. Oh, this week there's this a situation going on. Or there's that situation, and these individuals, as long as while you're witnessing these things, people shilling you left and right, projects and promise coins and donation period and sacrifices. It's all ICO talk. It remind all of this. Semantics, really, perspective, but it's all the same thing. You're trying to get in early, trying to move like somewhat of a venture capitalist, trying to get in early so you could be well positioned when everything does launch, right? Unexpected, no expectations. History has shown the whole ICO period of 2017 and 18, history has shown that they failed, that it's deeper than a rug and a scam. They failed. In many cases, just like now, folks got their money. How are they really motivated to work to follow through on their promise if you already paid them? How where's the motivation to complete on their promise? They already got $1 million, they already got 5 million, they already got 10 million, they already got 50 million, they already got millions of dollars. What motivates them to really follow through on whatever they already got paid? And these are the things that were taking place years ago, and this is what's happening now. In real time, this is what's actually happening now in real time, because you have a series of sidebar projects that are waiting to come onto Pulse-Chain. And it's so true. Like, we look at Ethereum and we look at it, the Enterprise Alliance and the partnerships that Ethereum has done through the years and all this development. Ethereum, the number one smart contract blockchain that we know of on the planet, period, bar none. No other blockchain can claim that. They're all number two. They're all secondary. They haven't reached Ethereum's wide breadth of applications, of utilizations, of existence, of even network effect. Okay? And you still had tons of bad experiences by people utilizing that blockchain to hurt the people. What other coin has the founder of Ethereum or the co-founder Vitalik Buterin himself, what other token has he promoted? Does he talk about? That's on Ethereum. like candidly. I remember hearing that when in the Proof of Weekends days back in 2000, summer of 2018, there was a rumor that he, I guess one of the keys from FOMO long contract or FOMO 3D, you know, they were issuing keys in those contracts as far as being able to play, be a participant, that he owned one of the keys. But did he publicly say anything about any project? You know what I mean? Like as far as like talking about, no. Does he though? Like really? He gets coins gifted to him from different communities, and what does he do? Not only does he sell Ethereum, but he dumps coins that he receives from other communities. I guess these communities are trying to help him understand and do things in good faith, so maybe he can give a good word. But no, he dumps on their heads, and it's okay. He's never vilified for doing that. But let you see a $10 million hex dump in the community and people go crazy. Twitter would be in a frenzy. But this is what I'm saying. Like, y'all don't give, we this whole thing about these projects, this is just a weird thing that a weird time that we're in right now, because again, I'm not an advocate for gatekeeping. It's corny to me. I just don't want folks to experience getting scammed unnecessarily. Like, who would want that? That's just me. I know people are going to get scammed because folks can't help themselves. They won't take heed to what I'm saying. They won't take heed to what others are saying. They don't even take heed to what Richard says. And he has a thread dating back to what? 2020 of all the scams documented on that he could, think about, and whatever community members share with him about a list of scams that have come and gone. And trust when I say that, those are not all the scams. It's a percentage, because I know a ton that are not included in that list. And others know more too. Been around. So this whole idea and this talk and this thinking about having other projects join on the blockchain, this and that, it's money opportunity, folks. Make no mistake about it. People are not trying to all of a sudden change the world. You're trying to become, it's just this maximum level of benevolence taking place all of a sudden through this small, isolated crypto sector called Defi. Now everyone wants to be just super benevolent. Yeah, all right. Yeah, okay. You saw what the Dalai Lama did, right? That's crazy. That's a topic for another day too. He's disgusting to me, man. That what he did. I'm sorry. Get off your Tibetan pulpit and recluse yourself. Like, remove yourself from what you're doing. That's crazy. You think that was the first time he did something like that? You see, I'm digressing. Let me just stay on topic. This is why I say to people, you have to really understand what you're doing. You have to understand what you own. You have to understand what's going on here. Because, excuse me, there are many people who wish that they were in your position. Those of you that I'm addressing now are the sacrificers. There are many people who are going to wish that they were in our shoes right now. Oh, believe that. Understand that. Understand that clearly. And even not even as a sacrificer, because that's still a real thing. We sacrifice for certain freedoms and then we have no expectations. We get it. But just utilizing Hex, receiving rewards, receiving Hedron, can mint the hedron whenever, at whatever we decide to, at whenever we like, acquire ICOSA through hedron through staking the hedron. Like, just that, those mechanisms right there, folks are going to, in the future, they are going to wish that they knew about this. And here you are, and here we are, listening to people like me run my mouth, folks sharing ideas throughout the community, those of us that are actively participating in the space. We are going to be the targets and the subject of maximum envy in the future. Rest assured, we're going to be targets of maximum jealousy and maximum envy. And that's why I always talk about strengthening and being being aware of your security, your operational security, for your betterment, for your well-being, for ease of mind. Because this is what it is. Like they say, the money that's going to come is just going to enhance who you are. But before you even get a chance to win it, you just dividing it 150 different ways. Like 150 projects are waiting to get onto Pulse You you donated to all of them. Then you really don't believe in the core. You don't believe in the core. And to do that and not even mind anything stemming from the core is crazy to me too. Like, if you're not minding anything hex related, that's just you know, and it's your choice. But you can't be talking about conviction and long-term anything to me if you're not at least heavily participating in your own right. You know, if you don't have skin in the game, what are you talking to me? What are you talking about? And there's people that's like that right now in the community. They're talking a good game. They're telling you and jumping on different streams and having interviews and being placed in a position as if to educate and teach the community about things. And meanwhile, they're not really vested in what's going on. They're vested in their own projects. Imagine if everyone had gotten together and just rallied behind Hex. You think Hex would be where it's at right now? Like, I do understand how the splitting the attention occurred when splitting the attention away from Hex occurred when Richard started talking about Pulse Chain and the whole sacrifice. I see it. I get it 100%. That already caused a separation, like removing attention away from Hex. And for some reason, it seemed like some people got all the way lost because they don't know even how to get back. They just lost into their own circle of promises that they're involved with, more than Hex that spawned all of those ideas. Hex spawned Pulse Chain that spawned 150 other projects waiting to get onto Pulse Chain. And they're not even thinking about Hex anymore. Like, how do you do that? How do you still keep talking about the OA? Shout out to, I mean, it's real. How you still keep fudding and talking about OA? You're 1,200 days later, you still talking about OA. Who owns the OA and this and that? This corn, like folks, and who cares about Richard's orientation, sexuality? Who cares about anyone's orientation and sexuality when it comes to working these smart contracts and cryptocurrency? Does the crypto care about what gender you are, what your socio-political views are? Does it care about what country you're in? It doesn't care about any of that. And I say that because I've seen people, because you find everybody in crypto, right? And I don't, And if it's for everybody, everybody should just come in and have an open mind, really. But it's a lot of people talk that open mind stuff, but then they show you who they are when they voice their displeasure with certain groups of people in the world. I've seen it. They throw insults. You're isolating yourself from, like you know. It's like, wow, this is what it's about. It's not for everybody, huh? You're quick to throw insults, belittling groups and populations and communities. And I've heard, like, you know, folks try to be, you know, just joke on Richard, ask his brother if you know, he's gay. Who cares? Who cares? Like the people I tried to onboard or I talked to in my travels last year, I just not even try. I'm talking because I'm not trying to onboard. I'm not a salesperson. I don't do good with sales. But I've gotten the feedback that folks didn't like the colors of the token. They thought it was quote unquote zesty, which means, you know, shout out to the LGBTQ community, QIA community. Yeah, it reminded them of those, you know, rainbow colors, and, you know, it's just say, hey, what we doing? They seen clips of Richie Rich dancing and how he flails his hands, and you know what I'm saying, like the dance moves, some of his dance moves, and old clips and stuff. And I don't care about any of that. I don't care about any of that. And then showing clips with Peter McCormick and Eric Wall. Who cares? Eric Wall. What you? Why do you bombard your mind with material that's just not bringing you any real value? These individuals are here, whether Erica is Richard's best friend, or Eric is that's his man, best friend, whatever you want. Who cares? I'm waiting. Mainnet. That's it. It's great about how now there's commas. Like they got commas in the testnet and PulseX. Bar when you swapping, you can see the commas, and I don't care. But when, let me know mainnet launch, and it's a go, and I'm not expecting anything. That's all. You know, all this in between noise and interference, that's just all that is. Interference. Stay the course. Hold on. These old school investors, like Vanguard, you know, premier investing companies, Vanguard and Fidelity, much older than BlackRock, and BlackRock is a behemoth. You think they don't understand the term, like Vanguard, stay the course? Through all the turbulence and through all these ups and downs and all the stormy everything, at the end the sun will still shine, and you want to be there to receive the rays of beauty from this celestial heavenly body beaming on all of us, allowing us to become enriched and enlivened. You want to be you want to be there. You don't just want to go through the storm and give up midway or on your way towards achieving your greatness and outcome. You get stumped along the way because you decided something else was better, and this was better, and something else is better, and you hearing, oh no, this is going to be better than Pulse Chain, that's going to be better than PulseX, this is better than Hex, that's better than this, that, and then before you know it, by the time you get to the end, you have nothing. By the time you get to the end, you have nothing. It's crazy because there were talks before about somebody who possibly even sold their bags before Pulse Chain even launched. quiet is kept. Like this in the escrow. That this is for folks. People, again, you tricking yourselves out of opportunities here. And this, if you rock with me this long, is because you deserve every great thing that's coming to you. If you stayed with me this long, because this is not a joke. We're taking time out here to understand how we can utilize time to our benefit. Even though we can't control time, we can allow time to work with us. We could work with time, with its energy, right? Some people, there's some circles that don't believe in time and space. That's a topic for a different discussion, a different day. But it's every day 00 UTC. It's cha-ching. We receive rewards. Don't get me wrong. I like the developments. I like the way things are unfolding. I like what I'm seeing, but I'm waiting for the green light. Each day that passes by, more and more bullish and looking forward in a healthy way to what we got going on. And that should be celebrated more than dividing your energy and costly, expensive time and resources and money throwing away at projects that I've listened to voice chats where folks are, the chat is about ICOSA, but they talk about some other stuff going on. Something else going on. And then you could tell, like, the FOMO, the excitement in these people. They can't help themselves. Richards even said it. He wishes he can help people with combat their addictive natures and qualities. He wishes that he can do that because people can't help themselves. They get involved with degenerate activities. These gambling, degenerate addictions that destroy people. And you could see it, you could hear it, it's visible. They don't hide it. This guy talking about like a platform that's gonna provide like leverage trading, something that if you don't know what you're doing, you lose. You could lose greatly, quickly. Some people know how to trade, but that's not my thing. I stay away from it. That's why I don't talk about it. But you got people who in the community who talk about these things to others. Wait till everything, like, it should be something, in my opinion, that's step by step. Let's take it one step at a time. Everything wasn't built in one day. As far as like, certain philosophy, not to bring religion into it. How many days did it take to create the world, right? They say 7. And on the 7th day, the Creator rested. So you just going to try to how many days did it take for you to reach your age today? Were you just born like this? No. But folks can't help themselves. The power of the degen is magnified so much here. It's extremely powerful. It's an entity in and of itself that's gnawing at the sensibilities of the weak. It gnaws at you. And those things need to be identified and called out. Not just for the sake of calling out and trying to create some type of drama. No. Identified and resolved and put in its place. And it needs to be checked right where it's at and leave it right there and stay the course. Stay the course, people. That's it. Take care.